We have families waiting for a car. 919-5526 or autotech.org.
There are things that we experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in a corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your evidence, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every week we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and just the unusual. My name is Greg Bakken, and thank you very much for joining me today. Patrick, do you know what day today is?
It's Victory Sunday, I can say that much, but what else is it today?
I knew that's where you're going. Well, I'm going to tell you, okay, today is National Cookie Day, all right?
Ooh.
Now, you tell me, because we walked in together, how many cookies did you see around this station today, like free for us to enjoy?
I saw 0 cookies today.
Now, you weren't here for the great ice cream day folly of 2022. Adam was here that day. Shar was our guest, and that also fell on the Sunday, and there was no free ice cream for us that day either. So you seeing a pattern here?
Yeah, I think you and me and Chad are going to have a talk about this.
I think something needs to be done, because I can guarantee you one thing, Patrick, if it was Matt McNeil, there'd be cookies here. Okay. If it was a Friday, there'd be cookies for Matt McNeil is all I know. And also, if you know, I know he wasn't here, but I don't know if he wasn't here all last week or just a couple days last week, but Matt has yet to ask me to guest host his show. And I think I have a reason why he hasn't done so yet.
Why is that?
Because I think he's listened to my show. And I think that he's made a smart move by finding literally anybody else to take care of that for him. So, you know, there is that as well. But I can't guarantee this is the end of our discussion about Cookie Day, okay?
Okay, well, I won't name him, but we do have one now banned guest host for Matt's show, so you're still a step ahead of them.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, anyway, let's get down to business then. I'm really happy. I've been wanting to have my guest on today for a while. I'm really excited about this. Sam Baltrusis is the author of Ghosts of Salem and featured in Curse of Lizzie Borden. Shock Doc has penned more than a dozen paranormal-themed books, including Mass Murders and Ghosts of the American Revolution, one of my favorite topics. He's been featured on several national TV shows, including the Travel Channel's A Haunting, Most Terrifying Places, Haunted Towns, and Haunted USA. He recently made a cameo in the documentaries The House in Between 2, and on several television programs, including Paranormal Night Shift, Most Terrifying with Jason Hawes, and Forbidden History. He also appeared in Fright Club 1 and 2 with the Ghost Brothers and Jack Osborne on Disney+. Baltrusis is a sought-after lecturer who speaks at libraries, paranormal-related events across the country. In the past, he has worked for VH1, MTV.com, Newsweek, and ABC Radio, and as a regional stringer for the New York Times. Today, we're going to be talking about his most recent book, Related to Evil, and you can check out his website, sambaltrusis.com. Sam, welcome to Ghostbox Radio.
Hey, Greg. Thank you so much for having me.
My gosh, your bio takes up one segment. You have so much going on. You're doing so many different things. I mean, well done, is all I'm going to say about that.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I'm like I really push myself to to get out there and to meet as many people as possible and write as many books as possible. So it's definitely it's a passion of mine. So really grateful to have that opportunity.
Absolutely. Now, I'd like to invite all of our listeners to join into the conversation. To do so, to ask a question to Sam, you can call in 952-946-6205. That is 952-946-6205. We're also live on AM 950 radio, but also streaming video on the following Facebook pages. You can watch us on AM 950, Things Network, MN Ghostbox, Free Spirited Network, RU Media, Skeleton Key Network, and Temple of Phoenix Rising Network. So please go there and support those pages as well. Feel free to leave any questions or comments in those pages, and we will ask Sam the appropriate question. So, first of all, I know this because we've been talking a little bit, that you finally have kind of taken a slight pause and came home today.
Yeah. So I was in Harriman, Tennessee, in the middle of the Smoky Mountains, and it was an amazing adventure. But it was so cold. I was with my good friend Richard Estep and his team, and we were investigating the old historic Harriman Hospital in Tennessee. And I have to say, it was definitely a spirited adventure. Plus, it was freezing, so there was no heat, obviously, because it's a abandoned hospital. And but I was like, when it's that cold, I think it actually the activity was through the roof. So I was really grateful for that. We had an event last night where it was jam packed with people, and we were walking them through the hospital and doing an investigation. And there was just lovely people that warmed my heart, but the hospital was so cold.
I was gonna say not warm enough, clearly, to
Right.
warm you. But no, that's really good to hear that you had all of that activity. Richard is somebody who I've been trying to get on the show for a while. His book about Fox Hollow Farm is one of my favorites. And I've heard nothing but good things about him. And I saw that you two do a lot of events together, because you went out over in his neck of the woods for a while too, and did some events and whatnot, just over November, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so we've seen each other so much the past couple of weeks. But yes, we were in I actually flew into Denver. We met up in Denver. My little brother Justin, he lives outside of Denver.
Okay.
And then over through Kansas. We visited a location that I can't talk about yet, but it's for an upcoming book project that Richard's working on.
Nice.
And then we investigated the McAteer Villa, and then spent time at the Sally House, which there's 3 houses that I refused to go to, and Sally House is one of them, and was able to face my fears and investigate the Sally House with Richard Estep.
Now, may I ask what the other 2 are? If you don't want to share, that's fine. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Well, the other 2, and actually the other one I was able to go to with Richard Estep earlier this year, was the Hinsdale House in New York. So something about the elemental energy there scared me, and so I get these psychic I get these like red flags, like don't go there. And it's funny, I was able to do it. And I mean, did I have experiences? Absolutely, but nothing that I was expecting. So I was able to kind of walk through sort of an irrational fear that I had with that. And then Sally House is on the list, and then the Conjuring House, which is and I'm able to go on the land, but not in the house. But the thing is, I'm doing an event coming up New Year's Eve at the Conjuring House, so I'm able to tackle the 3 locations that I swore I would never go to in 1 year.
That's good. It's always good to be able to do that, I think, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, once you get walking through the fear, you feel so accomplished. And you also, it's funny, like that. You think that those locations, the ones that gave me the red flags, would be the ones that I would have the most profound experiences in, and it's actually opposite. It's the ones that I'm not expecting to be the most active are the ones that I do have those overwhelming experiences.
That is pretty amazing. And what I didn't realize, I mean, I have investigated the McAteer Villa a number of times now, and it's off the hook as far as I'm concerned, but I never realized how close that was to the Sally House. I mean, it's literally just a couple roads over.
Yeah, it's in Atchison, Kansas, and I've never been to Kansas, to be honest with you. So it was a lovely little town, and with so many haunted locations, and even like Amelia Earhart, her house, her birthplace house is there, and I was able to visit that with Richard, and just the Missouri River. It was just beautiful. I loved it. And did I have kind of an intense time at the Sally House? Yeah, it was sort of like Richard was kind of like working with me. I started hyperventilating every time I would go up to the nursery upstairs. So it's one of those locations that like it took me a while to used to and acclimated to. But yeah, the Atchison by itself is just a lovely little town.
It is. It is. Now, so you've been traveling quite a bit, and it sounds like that you had literally just breaking news in the Sam Beltrusis world that there's some big announcement that just happened.
Yeah, so about 5 minutes ago, I was able to finally go on the record. So there's a convention in Michigan. It's the Michigan Paranormal Convention. Been wanting to be a part of that for many, many years. It's the sort of the premier paranormal convention. And I was asked to be a featured speaker coming up in August. So it's their year number 13 at the MI Paracon 2023. So I'm grateful to be a guest coming up this August.
That is fantastic news. I mean, there just isn't anything bigger than that as far as the conventions go. And, as far as anybody who wants like to have a table or anything there, it's like, I think you're already out of luck if you want to get a vendor table because they sell out that quickly. You're right. There isn't anything bigger.
And that's a testament to the organizers. I mean, I hear they do a great job because I've actually never been there, but yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to be a part of. And a lot of my readers and people that have seen me on TV, they're like, why haven't you done Michigan? I'm like, well, they haven't asked me, but they asked me this year, so happy about that.
That's great news. I might see you out there. I might be going this year. I think for sure I'm going to be seeing you out at the Gettysburg Bash because I've been asked to take part in a roundtable out there. So. Because I think you're going to that, right? I thought I saw your picture on there.
Yeah, so I've gone to the Gettysburg Bash for 3 years. I was not able to go this past year because of other commitments this year. But yeah, so I love Gettysburg, and I love going to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. So yeah, I was asked to go back coming up this year. And can't wait to be there.
That is fantastic. Why don't we do this? Let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with author and lecturer Sam Beltrusis. We're going to talk about his most recent book. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Habitation presents a radio drama. To buy or not to buy, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler to compromise and live with a sectional that doth not fit my space, or to take up arms against a sea of mediocrity, and by opposing it, to rest, to be comfortable, to enjoy the space that is my home. Hi, this is Gregory Rich, owner of Habitation Design and host of Drink in the Style. I'd like to personally invite you to our new showroom located in the District at Edina, 7777 Washington Avenue South. Habitation, put some drama into your interior design.
Think your company's safe? Your staff is working from home, right? As I speak, cyber criminals are mounting attacks across the country. Remember, when we're weakest, cyber criminals attack. Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. The Rymark team is guiding our clients through these difficult times. In fact, demand has been so high, we created an easy-to-follow guide. It's yours free. Download our 5 steps to securely work from home now at rymarkit.com or call 651-328-8900 for a no-cost how-to discussion.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Are you dreading Monday, hating life, and living for the weekends? It might be time for some life changes. Pamela Topjian is a board-certified hypnotherapist at hypnobreakthrough.com, and she can help. Consultations are always free, and you'll also receive a complimentary sample session to try out. Get in touch on hypnobreakthrough.com or send a message on social media, HypnoBreakthrough or Pamela Marie Topjian, and she can help you. Give her a try, and I think you'll really be satisfied with that. Now, welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakken, and thank you for joining us. Our guest today is lecturer, television personality who has appeared on many paranormal television shows, and author Sam Baltrusis. We are talking about his recent book, Related to Evil, that is available on Amazon. And please check out his website, sambeltrusis.com. Sam, what you may not know, though, is I wrote a book actually called, I called it Married to Evil. And it was very painful to write, but you know, I think as an author, right, you have to really go through the pain on some of this stuff, don't you, to really come out.
Yeah. I mean, like it's funny because every time at convention stuff, and they're like, oh look, they wrote a book about me, like Related to Evil. And so, I get a lot of comments about the evil, the Related to Evil title in the cover, which is like a bloody hatchet.
It is, but there is a purpose that maybe if people are just looking at it aren't going to realize that there is a purpose why you called this book this, in a very, very distinct purpose.
Yeah, so the kind of give you some backstory with me. I've written 15 books altogether. I specialized in Salem and the Salem witch trials for many years. I was a tour guide. I was the author of 2 books on Salem, Ghost of Salem, and also Wicked Salem. And so I was a tour guide. And my mother, who is definitely, she wants to be a private investigator. That was always sort of her passion. But she turned that passion to Ancestry.com. And she wanted to find out our whole lineage on her side because we didn't know much about it. So her last name, her maiden name is Hughes. And she started doing a lot of work on Ancestry.com and uncovered some gold mines in our family lineage. And a lot of those gold mines tie into what I have written about and studied for many years. The first revelation that my mother uncovered was that I'm related to the Putnam family, who are the major accusers in the Salem witch trials. And that was heartbreaking to me because I have given tours in Salem for years and talked about the spirits. And a lot of the spirits are victims of the Salem witch trials of 1692. So the idea that we were perpetrators broke my heart. And specifically Ann Putnam Jr., who was one of the afflicted girls, is our distant cousin. And that was the first big drop that my mother found out. And then the second was Lizzie. And that the first one broke my heart. The second one terrified me. So there were 2 different reactions to the family ties. And the Lizzie Borden tie is actually not just through one part of the family line, but through 2 parts. So we're doubly connected to Lizzie Borden, who was acquitted of murdering her father and stepmother in 1892.
That's incredible. I mean, and you know, so let me ask you this, and I hope you're okay me going down this line of questioning. So don't, feel free to be like, no, let's not do this. But it's you have gifts. Right. We talked about that. I've known about this. Did you ever feel that you might have been in this related situation with either parts of these prior to finding out formally?
Yeah, so I felt called to these stories. So I think that part of my abilities did kind of draw me to New England. I mean, I'm originally from Florida. Sure. Florida, my dad was in Chicago. So there was no reason for me to go to college in New England, go to school in Boston, live in Boston for a long time. So there has been a psychic pull to these stories, specifically the Salem witch trials, and then Lizzie Borden was kind of happened organically. But yeah, so maybe deep down in my gut, I knew something was going on. I never thought it would be Lizzie Borden. I would say, based on like sort of like my empathy and just how passionate I'm about telling the stories of the Salem witch trials victims, I thought it would be one of the victims and not one of the perpetrators.
Yeah, it's really interesting how all that happens. Now, I guess the other question I had, which when I was kind of going through the book and when we were getting ready for the show today, I just had wondered, have you ever thought anything that you might have had a past life during these eras?
I have been told that. I have done past life regression before, and for like the different, yeah. I mean, I feel a cosmic pull. I mean, maybe not specifically Lizzie Borden or the Salem witch trials, but I did feel a pull to New England. My past life regression was actually a different gender, so which makes a lot of sense to me, because I'm really, when it comes to connecting to the spirit realm, I connect strongly with women, and specifically women who are outcasts. One of my past lives, through the regression, I was a woman who was being stoned to death in French Guiana. So it was different gender, someone who challenged the status quo, who was what I got from the dream or from the regression was that she was ostracized by the community and ultimately executed for having a baby out of wedlock. I actually pulled things like, so I had multiple recurring dreams, which caused me to do the past life regression. And I have been told that I also have ties to the Salem witch trials before too, but as one of the victims. So I have thought about that. And I have pursued it, but it wasn't. It's similar. It's similar idea that people who challenge the status quo and kind of are otherized by the status quo. So it's. I think that if I do have a connection, it's that the ones that were different were the ones that were executed or persecuted for being different.
It is really something to hear about this. I think that that's what makes this book so interesting, because it's personal, isn't it? I mean, it really is. It's a level that you don't find with, I mean, there's a lot of great books out there. We just talked about a great author that, a lot of good stuff, but this one is super personal. I mean, it's probably one that you never thought that you'd be writing after all these books, that you'd be writing something about this.
Yeah, it's definitely something that was a journey for me. It was a shocking journey for me. It was there's a rawness to the story. I'm putting it all out there, including, I've been sober for 13 years, so it was sort of like me talking about my sobriety and how my gifts sort of developed after the sobriety. And also, when you're talking about family, you're talking. It's different than talking about someone who was executed. It's a different vibe when you're talking about your family member, even though they're distant family members or something. It's really personal when you're talking about people that you feel connected to. So yeah, it's definitely a personal book for me. I feel like that it's a book that I was supposed to write. Yeah. And it's a project that presented itself to me, and it's sort of like my whole life makes sense now, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, this is why I moved to New England. Oh, this is why, there's a lot of like, moments while writing this book and piecing it together.
There's so much to talk about. This was our short break, so let's take another break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with author and lecturer Sam Beltrusis. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
Hi, Matt McNeil here. For the last 2 years, AM 950 has been so grateful with all the members who've signed up to support the radio station. And as a thank you, we've sent out the AM 950 calendars. Well, for 2023, get ready for even more thank yous. The AM 950 2023 calendar is ready to go, featuring photos I took around Minnesota. Members who sign up with a one-time $50 membership or a recurring monthly membership of $10 will be helping to support the largest progressive radio station in the state. And as a thank you, we'll send you the 2023 calendar. Brand new this year is the AM 950 National Parks poster. The poster features photos I took of the national parks in various locations in Utah, Arizona, and Colorado this year. If you help support AM 950 by becoming a member with a one-time $99.50 donation or a recurring $25 per month donation, AM 950 will send the poster and the calendar as a thank you. Help AM 950 keep broadcasting the powerhouse progressive lineup you love and help keep Minnesota blue. Go to am950radio.com to sign up as a member, and thank you so much for supporting AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
The days are growing shorter and temperatures are getting colder. You know what that means. It's time to plan your unforgettable Eagle viewing trip with the National Eagle Center. Spend a Saturday afternoon with the experts viewing bald and golden eagles in the heart of Eagle territory. Travel by coach bus to multiple Eagle hotspots and receive engaging informational programming along the way. Trips last 4 hours and minimal walking is required. Learn more and register online today at nationaleaglecenter.org/eagle-viewing.
'Tis the season to be jolly, and nothing makes me jollier than a clean home. If you just had Thanksgiving at home, you're probably still assessing the headaches your holiday company caused to your carpets, tiles, and maybe even the upholstery. And now you have less than a month before it's going to happen all over again. Call Zero Res today and ask for the AM 950 special and free room Zero Resified for just $119. That's a $50 savings. And don't forget those air ducts. Take another $75 off your air duct service to get them Zero Res clean. Also, are you looking for last-minute gift ideas? Give your loved ones a Zero Res gift card to spread the Zero Res clean cheer. Call 952-ZERO-RES or visit ZeroResMinnesota.com to schedule your appointment today and beat the holiday rush. Lastly, now is the best time to book Zero Res for your year-end office cleaning and get you ready to provide your employees and patrons a clean and safe environment for 2023.
Tune in for Philosophy Talk, a program that questions everything.
Except your intelligence.
Coming up, thinking like a conspiracy theorist.
Don't do that. Conspiracy theories are irrational and false.
But if people sometimes conspire, aren't some conspiracy theories true?
Real conspiracies tend to be small and don't involve like 97% of all climate scientists.
Next, you're going to tell me birds really exist.
Thinking like a conspiracy theorist. Next time on Philosophy Talk.
Philosophy Talk, every Sunday at 8 a.m. on AM 950.
I forgot that hearing your voice, Patrick, throughout the entirety of my own show, doing all the commercials and stuff. I forgot this is Patrick AM, or was this Patrick 950? I forget which one it is.
I think it was Patrick AM was what we decided.
Patrick AM, yeah. No, I mean, this is why you're driving up in limousines and I'm driving up in a 2004 Ford Explorer. I can't even say what it is. There's still not a cookie here. You know, this is the only good thing about today so far is my guest that I'm going to get back to in a second. But just really wanted to remind everyone that Ghost Stories and Beyond returns to Billy's in Anoka this Wednesday, December 7th at 6:30 p.m. Join Char Savoy and myself as we stream into the basement of this restaurant. Bigfoot researcher Robert Robinson. Spend the evening asking him questions about Bigfoot, share your stories, or even chat about ghosts and UFOs. He's well-versed in all of it. We're even giving away a copy of his newest book, International Legend Tripping. It's $10 a ticket to come on in. Does not include food, but the food is amazing. The wait staff is amazing. The location is amazing. And we're going to see you all there Wednesday, December 7th at 6:30 p.m. at Billy's in Anoka for Ghost Stories and Beyond. Also, I just wanted to do a quick shout out, French Quarter Medium, Maria Shaw's Holiday Psychic Fair. That's this coming weekend, December 10th and 11th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Minneapolis Airport Marriott in Minneapolis. It's actually Bloomington is where it's going to be. That is also $10 a ticket. So if you have $20 free this week, you can do Ghost Stories and Beyond as well as the Psychic Fair. Our very own Char Savoy, who you may remember from such radio shows as this one, will not only be there doing readings for the weekend, but it's also going to be doing a class, The Path of an Empath, That's on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. So definitely, please go check that out. Also, I just want to let people know that Sam is not the only writer on this program today, as I wrote a 700-word article for The Edge magazine that is now out. It's about bridging the gap between the paranormal and metaphysical, because there shouldn't be a gap. And I think it's going to be the start of a string of articles that I will be doing. So wherever you can get The Edge, and they're, available back where you could get like city pages around the city, go pick it up. It's free. It's a fantastic magazine. Perhaps even more fantastic now, Patrick, that I have an article in it. I'm not here to say what's fantastic or not, but I'm just going to tell you that it is now. So just keep that in mind.
I will say that is pretty fantastic, though.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, it's luckily I didn't have to prod you at all for that. So if you've missed Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken live, AM 950 replays these episodes Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, or you can listen anytime by going to Spotify or iTunes. After listening, please leave a positive review for my show. I'd greatly appreciate it. Our guest today is lecturer, television personality who appears on many paranormal television shows, and author Sam Baltrusis. We're talking about his recent book related to evil. Super, super fascinating. It's available on Amazon. And please check out his website, sambaltrusis.com. And Sam, we got some people in the chat who are just like really happy that you're here. First of all, a gentleman by the name of Dale, who I know Dale, he met you at the McIntyre. He was really excited that you're on the show today.
Oh yeah, Dell was great. He was on crutches to the McIntyre Villa, but was able to investigate together, and it was a wonderful experience. So thank you, Dell, for being on the show.
Yeah, he is a phenomenal person. I consider him a friend who has just been really just a gentle soul. That I mean, his wonderment for paranormal is really fantastic. I got a question for you from Pamela on the chat, and she just wanted to know, did you always wanted to be an author, and how did you start that process?
Well, great question, because I was about to actually talk about this. So you mentioned that you just wrote an article for a local magazine. That's kind of how I got started as well. So I wrote, I was a journalist for many years, and I wrote a story for a local magazine called Stuff Magazine. That turned into my first book, Ghost of Boston. And the idea of writing a book was not, it's something I always wanted to do, but what I told myself, it's like basically writing, several articles and like just take it one section at a time. And that's how I was able to write my first book, Ghost of Boston. And now I've written 15 altogether. So the idea of just keep writing and keep experiencing, and eventually that could turn into something that is, that could turn into a great book. And I think that, like just taking that first step of writing an article for a local newspaper or magazine is a great first step. Yeah.
And it's also a really good way to decide how much you actually want to write. Don't you think? It's like, if you're just writing an article and you're like, well, that's good enough. But I mean, to your point, I mean, it's like when you're doing a thesis or a capstone, it's the same sort of thing too. You're really looking at chapter by chapter, aren't you? It's kind of you're not making one book, you're making like maybe 10 to 12, 15 smaller papers perhaps, or something.
Right. And that's kind of how I first was doing. Now, of course, I think about the whole book before I write it, because I'm like, okay, am I able to actually, is this book worthy, or is this article? So sometimes it's a great idea, but it doesn't work as an entire book. But yeah, it is that. It's one page. I try to write 1,000 words a day. However, I will say, since my schedule has been so crazy the past few months, I haven't written 1,000 words a day, but we'll start doing that again probably tonight as soon as I get back from my trip. It's in us to keep writing. And spending time with Richard Estep, we talk about that. I mean, like, do we ever take a break? I mean, we don't. We just keep writing.
And I'm going to get back to your book in a second, but I'm curious by what you just said there. Try to write 1,000 words a day. Is that 1,000 words? Is that always towards something that is a potential project, or sometimes it's just to kind of keep limber with the mind and whatever else of writing?
Yeah, so it's kind of like working out. You want to work out, as much as you possibly can, and same with the writing. hustle. When I do take my breaks, which I'm currently on a writing break now, you get back and you're kind of rusty when you get back. So by kind of maintaining that 1,000 words a day, it does. Does it always turn out to be your next book project? No. I will say that now that I've written so many books, I try to turn it into something. Like right now I'm actually writing an article for Haunted Magazine. And it's like a 1,500 word article, but I'll be working on that tonight and this week. So yes. I mean, generally I find a way everything I do to turn it into something, whether it's a blog post or a magazine article or a book.
That's nice. That's very nice. And then Dale just wanted to say that he hopes to see you again soon. You mentioned by name. He did not say hope to see you again, Sam and Greg, just Sam. So that's hurtful, but that's how it goes in this business. Talking about the book, one of the things that you had brought up is, your kind of the desire to go from Florida to go up to the East Coast. And I, something that kind of popped in my mind when you said that, and something, I've been traveling around the country also for paranormal stuff, and you talk about energy, and I mean, every place has a very distinct energy, and I don't know if people quite understand that, but the East Coast really has something that is very, to me at least, felt very unique to the rest of the country. I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was called to New England. It was almost like I, psychically knew that I was supposed to be there. Now, the vibe in Salem specifically, and I always kind of say this over and over again, but the land is stained with blood, and you can almost feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel the dark past in New England, and that goes for the native population who, the massacre. There was a lot of bloodshed in this part of the country, and there a lot of bloodshed throughout the country. But I do think that there's something specific about it, and also too, like you feel like you're surrounded by history, and I think the history initially called me, and it's kept me here for many years. I'm not a big winter. I don't love the winters, but I do feel like that it's worth it for me because of the history, and so I definitely the energy here is I would say darker compared to other parts of the country, and there's a lot of layers to it as well.
It's so interesting how you say that, because I was thinking the same thing about I've been up to Connecticut, and it's been to some very beautiful places. It's very picturesque, but even those areas, there feels like there's a layer over it. I'm not saying evil or anything like that, but it just, there's that energy that hangs over it. And I think there is something kind of darker just in general. I'm not saying that people don't have good lives there or anything, but yeah, I mean, there is something very, to me, it's very tangible there.
Yeah. And the kind of going through and untangling all of those layers and really looking at them it's been my passion. It's sort of because we have the history that we've learned, and a lot of it was originated in New England, like the Pilgrims coming over. But what about before that? What about the Native American population? There's a lot here that that I, as someone who do I identify as a historian? Yes and no. I mean, I definitely focused on history most of my career, but I also think that it's important to tell history correctly, and to do our best to give a voice to those who have been marginalized by traditional history. So that's sort of looking beyond what you read in the history books and actually digging for the stories of those who have been overlooked.
And there seems to be some sort of movement over the past 5 years or so with authors as yourself. I mean, obviously Jeff Belanger, very much so, Richard, Shannon, Bradley Byers, all these people who are writing to make sure that they're correcting and making sure history is being put out there correctly, opposed to what we're just hearing on the TV shows.
Absolutely. I think that is what I originally started writing about the paranormal. That was my point, my purpose, because I felt like a lot of what we were getting was sort of like the TV version of history, or whitewashing, if you will, of what really happened. And a lot of, especially with Salem, there's a lot of myths and misconceptions associated with Salem. And, I spent, as a tour guide even, I spent a lot of time untangling those myths and misconceptions, but then taking it a step further and then writing about them and really digging for the correct history. And when I say correct, it's like it's impossible to be 100% correct. Sure. And I think maybe correct is focusing on not the ones that have gotten all the glory and all the stories like Paul Revere and the American Revolution versus like William Dawes, who actually made it to Concord. It's one of those things that you want to focus on the ones that didn't get all the press.
Now, when using GIFs and stuff, and you're doing the research, do you get like any sort of like, lack of a better term, like a tingle or something like that says, no, what I'm reading here truly resonates with me. I do not doubt this one bit.
Yeah, so it's interesting how when I first started, like I love doing all the research and interviewing experts in the field, and so a lot of what my initial purpose as an author was to really dig for the truth, and I still do that, but now I kind of I dig for the truth and use my abilities at the same time. And even when I was a journalist, I remember using my abilities to dig for the story. I did a lot of true crime articles and stories before I started writing books, and I feel like that I definitely do use my abilities. This past year, I've tried to go to locations that I didn't know the historical backstory, so I could go in without. And I think it's stronger when you don't go in with a narrative that this is what I'm supposed to uncover, and you go in kind of cold, like the McAteer Villa. I didn't know anything about it, or even the Sally House. I mean, I knew it was a scary place. That's all I knew about it, and I've been warned by it. But I tried this year to go in cold, and I will say that the ghosts do ultimately guide me, but it's hard. I love the research, so it's hard not to do a lot of research before going into a location that I'm planning on writing about.
Let's take our last break. When we come back, we're going to finish our conversation with author and lecturer Sam Beltrusis. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hi, all. The Matt McNeil Show is now on weekday afternoons, 3 to 5 p.m. right here on AM 950. It's the usual buffoonery. We'll talk lots of things, including politics, especially with what's going on this election season, plus all the usual topics as well. If it matters to Minnesota and Wisconsin, we'll talk about it. Phone calls are welcome at 952-946-6205. Weekday afternoons, come see the train chimp, The Matt McNeil Show, with me, Matt McNeil, 3 to 5 p.m. weekday afternoons right here on the progressive voice of Minnesota, AM 950.
Eat Local Minnesota is a great way to find locally owned Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors. You'll find high-quality food and unique eating experiences with dishes from around the world. Just visit eatlocalminnesota.com for your next meal. Crooner Supper Club invites you to Maggie's Lounge, an exciting new bar lounge. It's open Wednesdays through Sundays beginning at 4:30 for cocktails and light fare. And you don't need a ticket to enjoy the great atmosphere of Maggie's. So stop by Crooner Supper Club off Moore Lake and Highway 65 for dinner, drinks, and live music from both big-name local and national artists. Cafe Latte combines a cafe dining experience with gourmet quality food. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Hey, Cudahy, this is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. On our show, we talk about Native issues like treaties, protecting Mother Earth, and holding our elected officials accountable. Weekly correspondents like Dr. Stately, State Senator Mary Kunesh, Robert Lilligren, and Bob Blake update us with Native news that you won't hear anywhere else. Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Listen weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m. on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
This is New Beginnings, hosted by award-winning broadcaster and speaker Freddie Bell.
Freddie, this generation of the baby boomers, people are living longer, so the baby boomers are taking care of elderly parents.
Let's talk about your health, and specifically, let's talk about Medicare. Our show features the concerns of America's 78 million baby boomers in employment, finance, health and nutrition, and even entertainment.
Join us for New Beginnings, Saturday mornings at 11, brought to you in part by Vision Loss Resources.
Hi, this is Kirk Duckwall with the Twin Cities Real Estate Show here on AM 950. Has our market changed? Yes. However, unlike what some people are saying, our Twin Cities market is still up by almost 8% year over year, and days on market are near an all-time low. If you're thinking of selling and would like not just a market analysis, but a total market overview, give me a call at 651-303-0019 or find me anytime at housegeeks.com.
And I just wanted to give another shout out to Native Roots Radio, who's always been there, very supportive of us. Thank you very much. Thank you, Robert Pilot. It's always good to hear your voice during our breaks, and it's always good hearing your voice weekdays, 6 to 7 p.m. here on AM 950. Thank you very, very much, as always. Next week on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken, we see the return of intuitive medium Jennifer S. Lee for one-question readings. This is a great opportunity to get an idea what lies ahead for you. You can call in, get a quick reading. She's incredibly gifted, if you've heard her last time she was on here, she is fantastic. We're not doing mediumship. We're just going to do readings. So please get your questions ready. Next week, we're going to have her on for one question readings. That's intuitive medium Jennifer S. Lee. So please make sure you do that. For our final segment, we return to our guest today, lecturer, television personality who has appeared on many paranormal television shows, and author Sam Baltrusis. We're talking about his recent book related to evil that is available on Amazon. And please check out his website, sambaltrusis.com. We have a few minutes left, so we can talk about some of the stuff that you have in the book here. And was this the first time that you went to Lizzie Borden's house to research for this book?
So yeah, so it took like several years for me to actually go inside and spend the night there.
Sure.
I was a journalist before, so I actually wrote an article in the 90s about the murder house being turned into a bed and breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't go inside. I just interviewed Leanne, who was the owner of the property back in the 90s. And so a lot of kind of like skirting around going inside for me, because I had recurring dreams, nightmares about the murders for many years. And then I was able to go inside. Probably it was like 2000. It was about 7 years ago, and then I started going regularly. So when I first started writing the book, the beginning was one of the first times, but then it became a normal thing for me to go to that house, and I uncovered new stuff every time I would visit.
So I'm just curious. This thought also came to mind when I was going through the book and stuff. Did Lizzie Borden recognize you as relative to her when you went into the house?
Yeah. So one of the bigger misconceptions is that Lizzie Borden actually, or Elizabeth as she likes to be called, is actually at the murder house, and she doesn't like to be called there. So a lot of times people call Lizzie to the house, and I encountered her in Maplecroft, which was her later in life home, and also in Fall River, and I really felt strongly connected to the person that I thought was Lizzie Borden was not who I ultimately got to know. So I got to know Lizbeth at Maplecroft, and a lot. I started having more empathy for her compared to how I was scared. I was scared of her. She was a caricature to me.
Yeah.
So long story short, I would say I encountered her at the murder house, yes, but she does not like to be called there.
Got it. And you said that she likes to be called Lizbeth.
Right. There was a couple of things that when I was communicating and doing mediumship, communicating with her, she said, "Call me Lizbeth." She said, "Do not call me back to that murder house." And I haven't called her back since doing Curse of Lizzie Borden. And she was also wanting for Maplecroft not to be like the crime scene. I think that she wanted to kind of have a sanctuary, and that she got her wish. I mean, there was a family that recently purchased Maplecroft with children. I think she would have loved that. I think she would have loved having, especially she loved animals. So if the family has animals, I think that would really make her happy.
Now, in the book, in the book related to evil, Sam Beltrus's most recent book, there's portions of the book that are dedicated to Lizzie Borden. In the book, you're basically saying that, we don't know what happened in terms of, everything. We don't have we don't have a solid answer. So is it okay if I ask you, do you have an idea of what happened?
Yeah, so the number one question, in fact, I have a recording, because when I was filming the TV show Curse of Lizzie Borden, my producers were like, I need you to ask Lizzie, did she kill her father and stepmother? And I heard a blood-curdling EVP scream when I asked that question, because I told her I wouldn't ask that. So yeah, yes, I do feel like that. That she probably was the perpetrator, but I don't. It's one of those things that in the show, Curse of Lizzie Borden with Dave Schrader and Chris Fleming, and myself, the idea is that maybe she was taken over by something more sinister. Now, is that a get out of free card? Yes, but I also think that there's definitely lingering energy, not necessarily in the house, but on the land, and I think that. She may have also been gifted like me. There was something else going on there that could be potentially paranormal.
That's interesting. And to be completely honest, I have not seen that shock doc, so I need to go check it out. That's on Discovery Plus for those who have not seen it as well. And we just have about a minute and a half left here. There was always talk about there was something that may have happened with the father that kind of got her to kind of take action. Is that considered still, or is that an outdated theory?
No, so they're definitely. So it also comes up to in spirit investigations too. So there was potential abuse, and then you see it over and over again. You hear it over and over again when you investigate at the murder house. Also to kind of because I don't want to re-victimize my distant cousin. I don't talk about it a lot, but I do. Yes, like that is still a theory, and that she just snapped. And even if you look at the logistics of the house, her room was connected to her father's room, which was kind of strange. But there was a lot going. If anything, there was emotional abuse, because he was a very strict, stingy man. Like he would, give her little money to be able to survive, and so she was, and he was wealthy. So there was definitely a lot of emotional abuse.
Sam Beltruscis is a lecturer, television personality who's appeared on many paranormal television shows, and author. His most recent book, Related to Evil, is available on Amazon. And please check out his website, sambeltruscis.com. Sam, thank you so much, and I hope to have you back. I'd love to talk about your book, Ghosts of the American Revolution.
Yeah, Greg, that would be great. There's a lot more to talk about.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. This has been Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great week, everyone, and take care.
Check out the award-winning Hazel's Northeast in Minneapolis on the